Hello, everyone. My name is Claire, and I'm a graduate from the School of Intuitive Herbalism. I'm also a movement artist and an author, the author of How to Be Feral, Movement Practices to Rewild Your Body. And today I'd like to share with you some movement practices as part of Nathaniel's course, and especially this section and embodied wisdom, which is very much my expertise. So my movement practice, in a quick word, is how to develop ecological awareness through movement. So in this way, it really overlaps with what we do at the school, but in which it differs is that it's not just limited to plants, it extends to the more than human world and specific landscape and ecology. And also the focus is more specifically on movement. So today I'd just like to share with you some practices that I'm hoping will be helpful for you learning at the school. And the two invitations I'm making today is how can you become more aware of your relationship to the wider environment? So for example, in the same way that you're aware of your relationship with a specific plant or a specific tree, how might you also develop that awareness to a specific landscape? And what might you learn about a plant by moving in the landscape in which it's growing? So these are the sort of invitation that I'm making that might be useful for you to explore. And the second invitation, which is more related to the point I'm making in the book, is how can we challenge our human bias, human-centric perception of the world? And my invitation here is to do that through movement. So there is very much an idea that humans are at the top of the pyramid in terms of life, and that we know best, that our perspective is the only one. And I believe that needs to be challenged, and actually the way we see the world is very much, it's not the only way, basically, and we need to be more aware of that. So how can we be aware of this bias so that we can learn about other ways to see the world? So which means that we can learn more from more than human world plants. That obviously you already know if you're on this course. But it's how can we push that a bit further? And so today I'm going to offer two practices that are going to challenge this perspective that we have as a biped, and how that can open new ways to relate to the environment around us. And so one of the invitations I want to make is that I would like these two practices, or I'm inviting you to do these two practices in 3 different locations, or at least 2. And the first one will be to do this in your home. And one of the reasons for that is that one of the practices that I'm going to ask you to do is a bit more unusual. So in the home, it will be more safe, more cozy, a bit more easy maybe to experiment and go further with that. But also the home is a very human-centric world that's been designed for humans. So the way you will move will have a specific quality. So then when I ask you to go outside and do the same practices, you'll sense really that there is a difference. You won't move in the same way. You won't respond to the space in the same way. So it's just going to offer a point of reference to when you go outside and notice any difference in your movement. So, and then if you have the enthusiasm, the energy, I'm inviting you to, first go to an outdoor place of your choice, which can be your garden, the woods, an open field, whatever it's easy for you to access. And then once you explore the practices there, if you still have enthusiasm, then you could go to a third place, a third landscape, or a second outdoor landscape. And if you've been to a woods, maybe go to an open field. If where you were was flat ground, maybe go somewhere it's a bit bumpy or slopey. Just something that offers some contrast. So in your movement, you will feel it. You would feel the contrast. That's the invitation. So the two practices that I'm offering are quite simple. The first one is going to sound maybe too simple, but it's exploring how to be a biped. So just really simply taking time to explore what it's like to walk, to feel my feet on the ground and notice how the rest of my body follows, how my hip or pelvis connect to the feet, and maybe exploring different ways to what's possible as a biped. Basically, what happens if I lift my knees, and then noticing what happens to the rest of the body that maybe is less into motion. What happens to my hands? They're not really doing the motion, but I can use the hands they're free to pick things up. So this is quite a big feature of being a biped. Now I have, and here obviously I'm moving in a space that is very much built for bipeds, so just sort of feeling what's possible here for me. So just really being curious about how can I relate? How do I relate to the environment from the perspective of a biped? What do I do? What do I notice? What's a time maybe taking a pause, changing direction, rhythm. Come back to my feet. What's the relation with my feet and my hands? And just really noticing the world from the perspective of the bipeds. You're taking the time that you need. Like for each practice, I'm inviting you to do it for at least 10 minutes if you can. More if you feel the need to move more. And then the reason to do this exploration of being a biped is that it's going to provide an interesting contrast to the second practice. So although it might feel quite simple or what it is, and really giving value to your exploration, don't dismiss too quickly what you're doing. Take the time to connect your body to what you're doing. And then whenever you're ready, just finishing, maybe pausing for a few seconds, maybe having a little break if you need to. And then the second practice is from my book, and it's called Moving Without Standing Upright. And it's pretty much says what is until. It's basically you can move any way you want, but not standing upright. So what it's like to not be a biped. So all falls, rolling, sliding, whatever different ways and my disposition to move. And really taking the time. You don't have to rush from one thing to the next. Just taking time and just noticing what you notice as you are in the environment. Now, my perspective to the world is very different. And how I interact with the environment feels quite different. Or maybe it's hard taking a pose and really noticing. And really giving value to what you're doing. No matter how small or ridiculous it might feel at the time. Just really stay present, trusting your body. Trusting your animal body. And it's really about giving ourselves permission things that we would not normally give ourselves permission to do because it sounds too ridiculous, too uncivilized. So how could you actually really trust that instinct inside of you? And notice when your mind dismisses what you're doing, just let it fade away, just keep focused, maybe take a pause if need be, and just keep trusting your body, keep trusting more instinct in it. And so also connecting with your inner child. As children, we knew very well how to do this. So keeping an open and playful, attitude. And again, do this for 10 minutes if you can, more if you wish. And then at some point, just taking time to finish, maybe pausing for a few seconds or minutes, taking time to just feel how your body feels after this exploration, not rushing out of it. And then whenever you're ready, it doesn't need to be on the same day, it could be another day. You could go out and outdoors, find, as I said, the place outdoor to repeat those 2 practices and then see what happens when you do that outdoors in a green space. And then if you're enthusiastic about this, maybe even find another landscape that's quite different. And then here again, explore those 2 practices and see what happens. Yeah. And yeah, please let me know in comments how it goes. It's always lovely to hear. And really have fun. Remember to connect to your instinct, trust your body, and connect to your inner child. I'm adding a bit more because I forgot to mention my book. If you really like the practice and you want to do more, you can find out about more practices to go and explore outdoor with the environment. Sometimes I do online courses, although also I do a lot of in-person outdoors, but it's in London. And I'm always keen to work with people one-to-one. So please feel free to get in touch and yeah, hope you enjoy it.